I'm here with the Rocksteady family, and let's introduce ourselves and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I'm Trevor Stevens. I'm the director.
My name is Bomani Story, and I'm the writer.
I'm Heston Horwin. I'm the freshman.
I'm Logan Huffman. I play Arnold Palmer, the guy who kills people with pencils.
Nice. Very nice. So,
Andrew Palmer. Arnold Palmer. I do this all the time. It's a great team.
no problem. No problem. So I wanted to talk about the tone and the rhythm of the movie. How much of it was pre-written, how much of it was done in post-production, and how much was improv?
So this film was very, very challenging in terms of its tone because, like the predecessors that influenced us, Yojimbo and Fistful of Dollars, both those films had, very quick action moments where you're having a lot of fun, but then went to very dark moments and explored a lot of dark themes. And we were doing something similar with our film. So from the writing room down to post-production, we had a big challenge of making sure that, when we go dark, we are able to come back and make people smile or laugh again, and vice versa. So it was a very, very huge challenge for us. And then Bomani had his hands full in the writing room.
Yeah, it's like trying to tell, again, we always call this movie like a spaghetti western in a college setting. And obviously the biggest influence that we're wearing on our sleeve, or at least the flashiest, are, like you said, Yojimbo and Fistful of Dollars. But there was many other influences as I was writing it that were important to me, which was, there's a movie called Battle Royale that has a very fascinating and challenging tone. And there's also another movie that's like people don't really usually consider it to have a challenging tone, but has a very challenging tone. It's called Billy Waters' The Apartment. And you're talking about a comedy that right smack dab in the middle of it starts becoming a suicide story. And it's just like, and to deal and dig that ditch, and then try to pull yourself out of it is a very challenging thing that I kind of feel like I bit off more than I can chew, and I hope I pulled it off. But like, it's a very, it's fun to, do that because we want to be challenging filmmakers and we want to do things that haven't been done before and entertain an audience. And there's a certain like beauty to just to writing something and making a film like that and just being like, accept it or not.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So the improv part?
Yeah, in terms of improv, for me, the freshman, anything that we wanted to adjust line-wise or something that came to me organically on set or whatnot, me and Trevor would always touch base with Bomani. We'd all congregate. Usually it ends with Bomani going, yeah, dude, totally, go for it. Sure, sounds great, man. Yeah, of course. In terms of just doing things on the fly on a take, that was really Logan's specialty. My character is much more reserved and he's supposed to be more solid, and he's an improv metaphor, the rock among the balloons. Sure. So, a lot of my job I felt like was to be more consistent so that this guy can just run wild and do what he does best.
Sure.
Yeah, I got to do. The cool thing was I would check with Bo, and see if I could keep on going. And we did, but like Bomani did like the best writing in some parts where I was like, I just got to step away and stay back. Like the number 2 pencil part, where I'm explaining that. It was so cool. It was so well written. I was like, I got to stay with this, stay with on tune. Some stuff I just wanted to add in because, like, at the very end, I say, no means no. I wanted to add that in because in order to play a bad guy, you have to be such a degenerate. And there's even worse things I said. Oh, yeah. Like, way worse. And the Tom Brokaw thing, because I thought, what would piss off a female journalist? Just to say, you'll never be as good as Tom Brokaw. So certain things, I just wanted to get a rise out of people, and they let me play inside that extent. But I always enjoy going off book, and I think it's you can find really rewarding moments. I think in independent films, the biggest thing you need to do is find God moments, where everything syncs up. That's when like the sun sets just at the right time, and that's what we're all looking for because we don't have the budget. We make gold out of nothing,
Right.
and yeah, we're alchemists, but. When it came to improv, we always checked in, and Bo, it was so great. And he let me go crazy, but at the same time, there was things where like, this is too good. I just have to leave it the way it is, which is hard for me because I'm an asshole when it comes to that. But no, yeah, it was really good. And fun.
My favorite improvised line of Logan's. Can you talk about the bike fair?
Oh, yeah.
When you guys were leaving?
I wrote a script years ago, and I put a Douglas MacArthur quote. We are not retreating, we're advancing in a different direction. And I just, I have to scratch that out of my own script because it's like, well, it played too well, you know?
So talk about your process in the way that do you guys start with the external? Do you go from external to internal? Do you guys look for the voice first? How do you find your character to begin with?
Well, that's a big thing. I mean, it can be something as subtle as, the way you put your hair.
Yeah.
But I think I'm in the belief that the number one thing you do is find out like what scares this person, what makes this person happy, and then find that deep part of you. But number one, stay focused on the other actors and let their influences push you inside this direction. I think always trust your instincts. Don't think at all. No, read your lines 1,000 times before you say them, so you know it like the back of your hand. Because how we're talking right now is completely subconscious. And if you put a camera on it, it would be fucking beautiful because we don't care. We're just existing. And that's what you have to get at. So I think the biggest thing actors need to do is not be lazy. Read the script 1,000 times. Read the lines 1,000 times. And then let it roll off like a sneeze. Because the funnest stuff is the sneeze. It's the God moments. If you're not thinking, you can find God. That's what you should do. I don't know, that's what I think.
This guy's awesome, man. I had this guy saying things like this every single day on set. I was just learning everything as much as I could, just writing notes from this dude. In terms of building the character, for me and with Trevor and Bomani, I was just watching a lot of film of various things across the board. Last night, so I mentioned as far as my character's movement and his combat, we studied Bruce Lee a lot, and specifically his fight with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the comedy and the humor that's implemented in such a smooth, cool-looking fight is such a cool juxtaposition, and informing my character further than just the movement was also the attitude and style of a character called Spike in an anime called Cowboy Bebop, which we watched a lot and studied a lot. And so I suppose it starts external with all of this content that I just try to absorb and I watch and study over and over and over again. And then I start internalizing it, and then I start developing my life story as this character and what he wants and everything like that. So yeah, definitely start externally and built it to an internal.
In terms of the process too, you guys talked about music being a big influence on all of you. So talk about that a little bit and how music has set the tone for you guys.
Well, from the get-go, I mean, we started in the writing room listening to Devo, The Warriors. The score of The Warriors actually is a huge reference. You watch the beginning of The Warriors,
And the Society. Some of the shots in the Society.
Yes, exactly,
Nice.
exactly. And then that was kind of the original thing. And then when I sat down with Josh, our composer, we were looking at all this and trying to make sense of all of it, of course, because I was giving a lot of funky references.
Sure.
And what happened was it all came back down to character. Like Logan was saying, like everything always comes back down to character. And so with the Society, they were all waltz, right? Because they are all very uppity, and they're all very organized, so they had a very, box structure score. Whereas with Palmer, it's more of just sounds. There's no rhyme or reason or rhythm. It's just like a tss, tss, and something about it is so unsettling. And so when you hear it, you know on screen that he is coming, and you do not feel right.
Oh, hi. I'm Andrew Palmer with Rocksteady University, and I want to welcome you wonderful parents and these beautiful new freshmen to our amazing school, a school that kids are dying to get into. A place where your kids can learn a higher education. Safety is our highest priority. Your children are going to find friends that last a lifetime. What's got you waiting? Join us at Rocksteady University. And don't forget, bring your bike.
I try to find a song for each character.
Yeah.
And I played on repeat throughout the duration. That's right before the day starts. Have a good cup of it, and then let it go. And then if things start to taper off, have a good cup of it. And
Tell everybody the album that you were touching.
Black and White by Michael Jackson. Because there was something like Michael Jackson has a slightly homoerotic, attractive thing. I feel like the male frat environment is such a homoerotic, but also there would have to be that glamour of that time period where we were. But I encourage every actor, go find your music, what your character listens to.
I just listen to a lot of Devo.
Nice.
It's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of Devo.
Can you talk about the animation portion of the film, how it came about? When did you decide to put that in there, and how much that was a part of this film?
So, one of our storyboard artists, Lisa, actually was our animator for the whole thing. Her name was Lisa
nice.
Wu. She was amazing through this whole process. And when we were first talking about it, we originally were just going to have at the very beginning kind of a Schoolhouse Rock type of intro into the school, like Welcome to Rock City University. But as we were laying things out, we knew that we had a very complex setting and story to tell here, and we knew that like if people don't understand where they are in the first 5 minutes, we could lose them. We want this to be fun, we want there to be mystery,
Yeah,
but we
absolutely.
needed people to understand, hey, this is college, but not the way you've ever seen it before. And so really the only way we could do that right away was to do it in this way that way, we're telling a fable. And we want to have that fable approach. And so that's exactly what we took. We took like the idea of like, the hand style of like an old fable, an old fairy tale, like Mother Grimm, and so we took that. And then we referenced like the idea of like kind of mixing with a little bit of the Schoolhouse Rock, and we kind of infused those, so it gave
Nice.
a little bit of this weird kind of retro 70s college vibe. Like they want to give that peachy feel,
Yeah.
And so we subtracted some of the colors and then saturated the others. And color being a huge part of this film as it is, because we want the idea that if you see red, Kappas, blue, society, and having the freshmen right there in the neutral zone along with Piper.
How much rewriting did you do on set? Was there any?
On set was
There was. I was just going to mention that. I'm glad you asked that, because what I was going to say about Bomani is, again, you said the Rock City family. We were mentioning this last night. Down to the actors, everyone was picking stuff up and running.
Yeah.
There's not a single soul that wasn't putting on multiple hats. And the great thing about Bomani is that he wasn't like he just handed out the script and ran. He was there every day of production. He also was our DIT. And even after when we went to post, as we looked at this, like I would look over cuts with Bomani, and we look at it, and we would do rewrites for either ADR or even the narration, and we would keep honing in. And so he never left. We were working on this all the way through to the very end, to like the last days of sound mixing. We were just like, oh, this line, to make sure that it was all there. So his job as a writer did not end off the white page. It ended on the silver screen.
Nice.
And that's what was so great about our collaboration.
Nice.
That's always the way it's been, and it's always the way it worked, because we don't ever go in, oh, like here's what you get and that's it. Like we go in to finish. We go in all hands in.
we always want to go 110%, because there's nothing worse than just being like, well, it's good enough, and then walking away. It's never good enough. And that's why I love when these guys improv, because even though it's like, I spend a lot of hours, a lot of time, trying to nail lines and get lines and like write the structure and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I feel like my job is like, after I do that, I want you to make it better. I want you, whatever I gave you to stand on, I want you to jump higher.
Nice.
I don't want you to just be like, oh, here it is, and here's what it is. It's just like, that doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't do anything for him, and it doesn't do anything for you. It's just like, that's why I loved like all his improvisation that he was doing. It's like it really brought the character to life. And it was just like, he really, and to me, that's him looking at it and seeing past the lines. And reading in between the lines, and even Heston. It's just like doing like, him smiling and doing all this stuff for the combat and doing his thing. Like, it just brings it to life, and I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And as the director, he does the same thing. It's just like with Sergio Leone, I doubt he wrote "hang on a close up of their face" while they're doing it. For like 8 hours. It's just like that's them looking at the script, going in between the lines and making it better. To me, it's just like, and when you do that, and we're all working together, because it is a very collaborative, artistic process, with a lot of ego involved and stuff like that. It's just like, but when we all come together, we all look better. Like,
right.
Like, what do you want?
Nice.
Well, there's no doubt, like this whole process. I think everyone would agree is like a tennis match. Like this is no single person. What happens is that like someone throws out like a creative idea and like hits it hard and bounces it across the other person. Whether it was in the writing room to when we're on set, with the actors and the crew members, everyone was involved in throwing it back and forth. And what that does is it just creates this crazy rhythm and crazy kinetic energy that like brings something brand new. So none of us ever felt that if we had to subtract something, if we had to take something out of the cut, we had to change a word here, do whatever. It was never about like, well, this is what I want. It was about like what feels best, and we all knew it. That was cool. Like we were able to trust our gut instincts, and like when we felt it, we're like, all right, this is right.
What does it say on your own personal cassette as you put it into your personal Walkman? What is the title?
What is the title of the
Uh-huh, mm-hmm. Because that's a real important part of this film.
Yeah, go.
Nice.
Mine will probably read "Kick Your Own Ass."
People that needs to be taught.
Nice.
Furious passion.